Right. It always takes like 3 minutes to like finally get the tap to join thing.
I one of my
It's like,
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Dylan. Keep
no,
speaking.
I was saying it was intimidating, a little intimidating to play a non-fictional character. I'd never done it before, but I was excited. That's really the end of my answer in short. So
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, Amanda. So I just asked him, what drew him to the project, and did he have any trepidation playing, a real life character and someone who like the unraveling kind of. And so similarly, I'd love to ask you, what drew you to the project? What made you want to take on the role of Elizabeth Holmes?
I mean, it was like, sorry, my voice is shot. I just got off the plane. It was like the
you can text me your answers. I can speak
so
them
I
for
was
you
actually
if you'd
thinking
like.
I would just have you speak for me. Um, but no, listen, this is like the best opportunity I've ever had, and I still don't know who this person is. So I got to really lose myself in the mannerisms and the physicality of someone that I'm not very similar to. Like best opportunity ever.
Amazing. And like we just said, playing any real person comes with its challenges, especially someone like Elizabeth, right? And so, Amanda, I'd love to talk about how you kind of got into her mannerisms, her behavior. I mean, her voice.
And I got to see moments that, that she wasn't prepared to show because there's just the tape never stopped
Mhm.
shooting. And then, of course, the way she walks is, I was like, I can't F this up. Very important.
No, it's really like amazing what you did with it. And before Dylan, I pivot to you, I just wanted to touch upon the one scene where you dance to how to, and I just saw you post a really funny, I don't know if you guys all saw it, but when you walk into work with your latte like 10 minutes late, and I laughed so hard. Like, what was going through your mind in that moment? How did you kind of like get through?
On camera. Liz Merriweather is so adept at creating awkwardness. And the funny thing is, like, Sunny and Elizabeth in our version play against the awkwardness, for it to feel real. I mean, that's their idea of romance.
Mhm.
And apparently that stuff is written because they couldn't write sex scenes,
Mhm.
which I think this is way more in.
Really?
Yeah, so I didn't know it. So
You've
there
never
were some
heard How to
takes,
Love? Oh my God.
total lesson. I mean, it's genius. And like, I just took the weirdest movements and just, it was so fun. It was so indulgent. I wish I could play characters like this all the time.
How many? Because like the top was just perfect.
I don't even know where that came from.
It was so good, so good. Uh, Dylan, pivoting to you, how did you prepare for the role? Where did you kind of get your, preparation from to play Tyler?
Um, well, I mean, just started off very standard, just watching any sort of interviews or documentaries that I could. And luckily, in any sort of documentary or special on this whole scandal and the story, there's usually an interview or multiple interviews with Tyler, and also just interviews on YouTube. And also, what I found really helpful and what I heard about closer to when I started shooting was Tyler has his own audiobook slash podcast where it's about 3 hours total of him speaking on his experience at the company and what he was going through, which was extremely helpful for me to just be able to hear him speak, not only just to hear the way he speaks, but also just, I mean, it was, Elizabeth made it very clear that as long as, you know, we didn't have to be caricatures of these people, and luckily, me a little bit, only I'm just a lot less smart. Like, I'm not as smart as him, so yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I just
I
rambled.
think
Sorry.
it's so interesting. Like, I mean, you look at these people and you think, oh my God, there's so much on the line for Elizabeth. But actually,
Right.
life is so much scarier for Tyler and Erica because they, I mean, uh, they were threatened. I mean, these people could have, um, they had just a lot riding on this, and how brave they were and how scared they were simultaneously, and then they still took the right decision. You know, we wouldn't be here without them.
Right.
So it was like, it was these two characters are just so essential to the entire story. And you're right, like Tyler is like more like you and me.
Mhm.
But like you had to like really want these people to do it, to succeed. And like you just like just made him so relatable and human and smart and scared, and
Mhm.
it was just a lot you could have done with it. And you did more. It's
Oh,
beautiful. Like, it's so beautiful to watch.
oh, well, thank you. That's so nice. That's so
Agreed.
sweet. I didn't know you were going in a complimentary direction there. It's very.
Oh,
I keep my head high today.
they told me to do that.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Well, Dylan, your character also had a pretty iconic role that included music or like part, which we must discuss.
Oh,
Yeah.
The singing to Elizabeth's scene.
Yes.
Please tell us
Yes.
what went into that. Walk us through that scene because
So, yeah, that really happened. Apparently that's a real event. I don't think there's any way to know the actual song that he played, that he wrote. Um, but yeah, I forget at what point I found out that was gonna happen. I remember just reading it and thinking, this is so brutal, and doing it was definitely intense. Um, they got the frontman and songwriter of the band Guster to write the song, and it's hilarious. It's like the perfect tone for the scene, for the character. It just is so horrible. The whole thing is so awful. But also it was really fun. I mean, I'm convinced that Amanda, that you were doing anything in your power to get me to break. Um, you just you were the facial expressions you
really
were giving me
funny.
off camera were insane. And, no, oh my God,
It was so fun to watch.
it was fun. 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 It was That's exactly you
I'm so
set the
sorry.
perfect stage for me. No, it was perfect because I watch it back and I cringe. Like I'm watching it going like, no, this is terrible. I can barely watch the scene. But
But the song
I
is
and
it's so good. I mean,
yeah.
it's stuck in my head, and you sing it so well. So it
Yeah, man. Yeah, crazy. I can't believe that's a real thing that happened.
I know.
Yeah,
I feel that way about a lot of the
yeah,
drama.
sure.
Like, did this happen? No, it did. It happened. So we have to do it. And
Yep.
how lucky are we? Because again, like I got to do stuff. We got to do stuff that we're never gonna get to do again in a movie.
It's
Yeah, no, I don't
ever
think that'll.
situation, right, where someone sings to you, you're like, oh, like what do I do with my face? Like, you know, I just felt it so much in that.
I know it was actually hard at times to like keep my um like looking at you because normally in real life you would look down and you'd be like, oh, but we're not in real life, and you had to clock me clocking you, and it was just so perfect. But
Oh
we
my
were
gosh,
pretty
I just
comfortable by
yeah.
then. It'd be
Oh yeah.
funny if it was just the first scene that we'd ever shot together.
Oh,
Oh
really?
my God.
No, it wouldn't. It wasn't. But it would be
It
funny.
yeah.
I was like, what an icebreaker that would have been.
That would have been so. That would have been terrible, but also amazing.
You would have thought I
Maybe it
was.
would have been even better. I feel like, oh my God. Also, Naveem with the cookie, like his sort of like moves behind you, like God, it was great.
Perfectly
It was
captured.
great.
What would you guys say, maybe Amanda can start, was your most challenging?
The breakup, because it was so technical and the camera never moved like that the whole show for me.
Mm.
And it was following us down the steps, and I was carrying, so I was packing all these technical proppy things. And usually when you learn, when you do the exercise enough times, you have body memory of which line goes when you're. So technical, and like on top of all of it, there was so much like emotional. It was like an emotional symphony happening, and I was just, oh, I like get stressed even thinking about it because these lines needed to nail perfectly in order for you to really feel like you've earned that ending with them. When I'm sitting in the car, it's episode 8. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
oh God, I was so afraid I was gonna fall down the steps, um, or I wasn't gonna be able to start the car or something like something that's just to ruin the scene that you worked so hard to get to that
Right.
end. Anyway,
Someone also your like visceral scream, and
oh
how like they loved that in the comments I saw.
oh God, best thing about working with Adam McGoy. Oh my heart. Yeah, the visceral scream like didn't even do this to me. It was so felt in my body, and I take voice lessons every week to protect myself from stuff like that, not from flying. And you know, the dog got scared. Like I had to take the dog out and just shoot without the dog. That was more of a, it wasn't hard to scream. It was just hard to know if the scream was going to be the right fit, or if it was just going to be an implosion of like tense tension. And we chose the Scream.
Mhm. Right.
It was perfect. I mean,
And
it was truly perfect.
it's
I
hard to
also
end
you mentioned
series 8 hours. Like what? Like
yeah.
Dylan. Like how do you end something that you've worked so hard on and like you want the audience to be satisfied and you want to be satisfied and how do you do that?
Yeah, it's extremely difficult. And I I don't think I had finished reading the last script when I did it. So because I just kind of wanted to, I didn't need to read past my part. I exit pretty early in the episode, so I didn't need to read. I wanted to be surprised, and I remember watching it a few weeks ago, and just feeling like I feel like I felt the most in that last scene. Like I felt so much throughout watching the entire thing. I mean, I love the show. I love your performance so much. But that last scene, I was like, that was perfect. It was literally everything from the scream to the just simple couple lines of dialogue at the end, and then to the St. Vincent song coming in. I was like, I just felt chills over my body. So it was super effective. I thought it was an absolutely perfect ending. Yeah, you were just, it was amazing. And I loved that. I felt, you mentioned the dog. I saw the dog being so scared by your scream as well. It was every,
That was the first take and they were like, we're gonna remove the dog now.
oh, oh, it's a made for a great moment though. I'm sure the dog's okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dylan, what is your most challenging scene?
Besides the song, oh man, I feel like it's a random one, but for some reason I feel like a hard scene that I was having a hard time feeling like personally to get right was when I'm sort of sleepless in my dorm room at night, and then Erica comes in and gives me the lamp. There was something about there was something about it that I felt like I was having a hard time like getting right. Like ultimately, I watch it back and I'm happy with the scene, but I remember it's supposed to be dark, but I could see her perfectly, and I felt like I'm not doing. I can't. Like I was like, this is not convincing, um, but I think it worked. But that was just one that I left going like, I don't know. I don't know if I got that or if we got that. But I think every scene though that I think every scene worked out that I was a part. Like everything I'm watching, like, oh, that really worked. Like, everything on the show really worked. So yeah, it was. But that I for some reason that scene was like the most tricky for me. It wasn't any of the more. Oh, that is an emotional scene. I end up talking about how I'm. Yeah, I don't know. That was hard. It was a hard
True.
scene.
Man,
um,
the show as well. Dylan said he's watched the whole thing. Did you watch the whole thing too?
Oh yeah. Oh, it was appointment television, and it's just because I hadn't seen the final cut of any of it, like the final version that they put on the stream. It's just it's different. It moves differently, and I was just so proud of it. Like I have no problem watching back stuff that I do, so I just enjoyed the whole thing as a whole. Like it was fun, special.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a really like gratifying feeling to watch something back that you worked so hard on and to actually believe that it's good and that it worked and to be proud of yourself. I
Oh,
love
so
that
rare.
feelings. I yeah, I know, and that's why I am that way as well. Like I like to dive in head first, and I like to watch things that I'm in before they come out. Like kind of not obsessively, but I do like to really watch and rewind scenes. I like to be aware of what it is before people watch it. I like to sort of I don't know, like I like to know what's going out to the world. So I was the same when I was on a show for years. Like every time cuts were ready, I'd like ask for them because I just really want to see them. Um, to just know, I'm like, what am I getting myself into? Like, is this bad? Am I doing bad? Like, so, but if I thought it was good, then I felt okay. So, um,
Did you know that you were gonna die so soon in Scream?
um, I, I did, I did. I had like a fake version of the script for the ending. Like, I didn't actually know what the end
Wait,
result was of the movie, but I was convinced the whole time it was other killers. So, yeah,
I
it was.
I
I'm proud of it.
I
This
watched it
uh,
yesterday,
panel.
and I was like, I messaged you, and I said, out of context, I said, "You die so soon, and in such a way." And he was like, "I hope this isn't a premonition." And I was like, "Oh my god, that's so." It made me laugh so hard, alone, out loud.
It's
But
just such a
thankfully, you
text to
understood.
get. Yeah, I understood. I understood. Like it, maybe after 2 seconds, I was like, "Oh, I see. I see."
Yeah.
It is an
You're like,
alarming
"What?
text to get, though. You're like, "What?"
You're dying."
Amanda's like, "Run!
Like,
You have to
in a
get out of this place."
really fucked up way.
If you guys haven't streamed yet, do it.
Yeah.
Funny.
Amanda mentioned at the very beginning of our conversation that it was really interesting, actually. You said that you still don't know who Elizabeth is. And I was wondering, kind of, I'm stream of consciousness myself here, did
Like I felt like my job as a person playing her, I at some points, people couldn't really talk to me about it because for the time I was shooting, I was like, no, her intentions were good. I defended a little bit, and it was hard. I maybe stepped into the delusional place, not to judge where I was at, but kind of does. Um, I know obviously the choice. And by the end, when I was done shooting, I was like, all right, I'm done. Bye. And I couldn't, I just had to step away, which is, natural. And then of course the trial finally ended and after Christmas, and I was like, okay, I'm back. But it was I had to let it go for a while because I did, my responsibility. I could have feelings about things, but I didn't really dive into them because I didn't need to for the sake of the shoot. I was just like, and her intentions were good.
It is pretty amazing how quickly you were able to pick it up and drop it between takes. Like I was mind blown working with you. Like we were just having a conversation, you were making me laugh hysterically, and then it was action and you were back in character. I was like, how the hell is she doing this?
I honestly,
Um,
I learned that from the best, my two favorite actors, Gary Oldman, Julianne Moore, who I was lucky enough to work with. I swear, they're the same. They do all the work, and then when they get to work, they don't have to build a thing around of a cocoon around them. They're there, they're ready, and then they can socialize. And I'm not saying certain scenes aren't different, but they're not. There's a seriousness, and there's also a willingness to play, and it's so beautiful because I saw that in them, at a young age, and I've and actors and the crew, and getting to be me in that world, and then click in. It's fun.
yeah.
And then you were
Well, I mean,
amazing.
yeah.
It was so fun. I'm sorry if I distracted you at all.
No, it was fun because it keeps me out of my head and keeps me on my toes. It actually it really just made for such a better
Oh,
environment. Yeah, truly. And also I don't think I've told you this, but I thought it was also extremely admirable and impressive how amazing how well treated everyone feels around you and you're leading the set and you're leading the show. Everyone clearly was so. I was not on the show as much as you, obviously, but every
you feel comfortable having your process, and also coming in with what you're good at, like your God-given skill.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amanda, you mentioned earlier that you kind of, and Dylan said it yourself himself that you could waver between yourself and Elizabeth without, any issue. But I'm always curious, and I love to ask this question: how do you kind of decompress?
Oh, I mean, same stuff. Like I a variety of things. Um, I didn't need much decompressing from this character. I feel like Tyler's a happy-go-lucky guy. He was a happy-go-lucky set. I just go home and I just chill. It was really easy, but in the best way. Like it was great. Yeah, same stuff. Same stuff.
But usually, like, when you're, you know, with 13 Reasons, like that was you were all the time.
It was nonstop.
Like, did
It
you?
was myself out. I don't want to obviously become depressed or anything like the character. Like so I would just put on music in the car, get back and immediately distract myself with something. Never dive right into the work the next day. Just like take time to myself to just do something completely mindless. Or just, talk to my girlfriend or whatever, just anything to get my mind off it. Cause yeah, I can't like you mentioned earlier, like you would never be method. And I'm like, I can't imagine the thought of that. Cause I'm just like, at what point is it really actually worth it? Because I can't like, I just can't even imagine the thought of that. So, yeah, I don't know. Like on a show like that, I mean, I love Dateline. Yeah, it's
Amanda,
a
we're
good one.
so much about you. Scream, Dateline.
I
Crocheting.
know, I know. Mine's a little trickier because it's real, but I'm gonna tell you that I used to, when I was single, I used to go to bed with the TV on my computer, and I used to only watch.
No.
Wait,
It's
no.
like it's like Cops, but it's about people who have been murdered, and they have to figure out the murder within the first 48 hours, and it's so dark and so real. Um, and for some
This is how
reason,
you'd go to sleep.
that I would fall asleep, and like years later, I'd be like, "Gosh, that's odd. I would. That's just not murder.
Interesting.
Murder.
Horrible."
I know we're running out of time, and I know
So it's so good, and I always begged the creator to be able to use an accent. And he's like, no, I think just your voice. And I was like, give me something. But it's okay because I love doing that too. But like, really, I just want to play people that are more removed, like Elizabeth was for me. So that's my answer.
Amazing. Dylan?
Oh, I mean, I think you're asking basically how it's sort of been different. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, for me, like first off, playing a non-fictional character, like I'm very used to being in genre stuff, like horror movies or 13 Reasons Why, where it's just sort of an intensified drama. Like I so for me it was really inspiring to actually play this real and I think incredible person, but also like this came at a time in my life where I was convinced that I wasn't going to be months in LA or something, which will never happen. And then into my lap this fell, and I'm just so thankful for it. Like if this is the last thing I do for a while, then I feel so fulfilled. I had such an amazing time, and I'm just so honored to be a part of such a great, just on such an amazing show, but be a part of such an amazing cast. Like I'm just honored to be a part of it, and like just to be able to share the screen with you, Amanda. Like I've been a fan of yours for a long time, but and I think you're unbelievable. But this is like the best I've ever seen you, and I'm just so honored to be a part of the same project
You're the best.
as
You're
you on it.
so.
So,
I mean, I was so happy that you did it. We were all so
oh,
excited when you came in. We were like, they would give us cast no.
I was asked to do it. Uh, and yeah, I just, congratulations on everything and all the great reception that it's been getting. And thank you guys so much for joining me today.
Thank you so
thanks
much
for
for that.
including me in on this.
Thank you.
I'm
And
honored to
Dylan,
talk about it. Yeah.
we're gonna see you in June.
Yes, I was gonna ask if you're still around in June.
Oh, for sure. Sean,
Okay, great.
Sam, everybody, like
Let's
some of the
go.
cast are gonna come to New York because he's
Oh,
gonna play.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm there for
we
like
talked about it
I'm there
at
for like a
the
week.
wrap party, but I mean the premiere. But we're excited.
Oh, let's go.
It's
Okay, I
gonna be
can't
so
wait.
fun to watch you
I'll
do
see you in a couple months.
yeah. Thank
It'll
you
be here
guys
before
so
we know it.
much.
thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a good day.
See you
Bye
guys.
guys.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye.